Good morning, beautiful people. I am doing a series of videos on cards in tarot, and as per me, never in order. Like, it'd make logical sense to go in order, but I don't roll that way. So my first card's going to be the Eight of Swords because it is one of the most potent cards and probably one of the ones that I feel is most pertinent to my work as a counsellor. So first up, I just want to say one thank you to all you gorgeous people who have reached out to me or, subscribed or even just watching my videos. Thank you. I probably will, I'm going to apologise if this video jumps about a bit because I suspect I will edit it quite heavily so that I have the freedom to go off on my little rambles and then down the track kind of try and work out what I do actually want to convey with this. I will just say hi, I'm Cole. I am a counsellor. I've named my channel Groundwork Narrative because I'm very interested in setting up a foundation ground up on or reassessing our foundations around our narrative, the stories that we tell ourselves, the stories that we've believed about ourselves and other people, and how these things can shift and how we can actively shift them. So that's the pathway that I intend to take. I love tarot, and I think it's one of the most potent tools I've come across to be able to sort of dial in and, focus in nice and tight on different aspects of the human experience. And this one here is probably one of the most restrictive and challenging for us all to overcome. So the Eight of Swords, let's go. So I've had a look at the imagery and I've read, lots of different interpretations, but I just feel it's more important for me just to stay focused on how I see it. First and foremost, my initial response is, man, how much do I want to give that girl a hug? She's her body language alone. She's closed in over on herself and is pretty resigned to her situation, feeling bloody helpless and a prisoner, isolated, totally withdrawn and stuck in her situation, not knowing or not being able to see that if she just moves forward and she shakes a bit, she shakes it off and lifts her blinders off, she can move forward. She can decide for herself. But she's been bound there, she may not have intentionally, done it to herself, but the mind will do that. It can be people, but that wall of swords behind her is the mind has blocked her path to, but that may be safety, that may be authority, that may be home, that may be the past sitting there in that castle, but the mind can do this. Those swords behind her really block her path to any turning back. It seems to me, that's how it feels to me. But she's still completely unaware that she can step forward. But to do so safely, she's going to have to do something where she stands about getting that binding off her. Now, one sword stands in front of her. She could just as easily use that powerful sword to cut those binds. The mind can be a prisoner, but it can also be our saviour, and it's time to sort of maybe step forward and use the mind as a freeing agent rather than a trapping one. And I mean, does she actually want to see? That's the big question, I guess. She's bloody isolated. And, well, it's a pretty muddy turf she's on, muddy grounds, but very emotional. So, and the sky is pretty grey and bleak. So, it's going to take some iron will, really. Maybe one of those big, gigantic sighs of like, right, I've actually had enough now. I've got to do something about this. And I guess the true essence of this is like she's kind of got to find her strength from within. She's got to make that decision within, because no one's coming to help her. She's out there on her own. She needs to get to a place where, and because of the blindfold and the sort of grey clouded sky, the outside isn't offering her any insight. It's really an inside job. She needs to make the decision, like I said before, that big sigh and go, right, I've had enough of this. And hey, let's honour it. It's not an easy bloody thing to do, to make a big decision like that, to be in a place where we feel trapped, whether it be, or we're in a situation where we are just stuck and we cannot see a way out. It may be a relationship, it may be a career, it could be a way of being, whether it be an addiction or victim mentality, a victimhood of having a long history that's just like a prison because you can't quite escape it. It's a lot to finally come to that place, and it is bloody isolating to come to that place to go, you know what? I'm the one who has to get out of here. I'm the one who's going to have to do this, and making a decision to find the path, but first you've got to be able to see where you are, see what's around, see what the options are, have a good 360 look around. And sometimes it's just time to shed the bounds. Don't necessarily do anything, but just start having a good look around. And I think for this video, I'll just introduce some narrative thoughts, and then I'll do another video down the track with some different cards and different perspectives and things around this. But I'll just circle back to narrative therapy, and the primary principle of narrative therapy is that the person's not the problem's the problem. Now, what we often do is internalise what's going on, where we're at. Say, for example, this person is feeling trapped in a marriage, trapped in a relationship, often either blaming the other person or themselves, more often, often a combination of both. And neither that person or the other person is the problem. The problem's the problem. And coming to a place of realization and start to shake off those bounds, cutting them off and lifting that bloody blinder off and going, okay, what's the actual problem? So, and that can be so many different things for so many different people. So there is no clear path towards that. It is an inside job, and it is about being really bloody honest with ourselves as to what that is. So sometimes the problem can be communication. It's not that your partner or a partner doesn't understand you. There could be a flaw in communication. What's the actual problem? Rather than putting it onto someone else or putting it onto ourselves. For example, I have a client who has always identified as going, I am anxious, I have anxiety. And then she turned around and said, oh, anxiety's a bitch. And I said, okay, so let's refer to would you like to, let's give it a go and start referring to anxiety as the bitch. So we then said, so what has the bitch been saying today? Oh, the bitch has been saying that my hair isn't, very nice. The bitch says that I'm not smart enough. And the feeling for both her and myself as her counsellor in the shift of just externalizing the problem, no longer putting it on someone else, because there was also situations where it'd be that person causes anxiety in me. No, the anxiety is the bitch. What's the anxiety doing? So I won't keep going on it, but an invitation to potentially start going, okay, I'm not the problem. The problem's the problem. And what's the problem? And just sort of, can you feel it? Just sort of being able to release those bindings and lift that mask off and just assess the place, assess the current landscape. And no need to necessarily move from there, but definitely take stock of where we're at. No, and again, even then, this is not the problem. The problem's, like I'm not the problem. Where I'm standing is not the problem. The problem's the problem, and let's focus in on that. So I hope that offered a bit of food for thought, maybe a little bit of a different perspective, perhaps not, but I will be doing some more on this card. I'll be doing them on them all, but typical Cole style, all over the place. Like, I don't know, what's the metaphor? Anyway, okay, I hope you're doing well. Bye.